Our 2021 State Manager of the Year is no stranger to this stage. In fact, this will mark the 5th time that he will be accepting a year-end award. Absolutely. 3 times at the regional manager level, and now twice as a state manager is simply outstanding. He began his career with us in 2014 in the great state of Ohio. And then in 2016, he relocated to South Florida to become a regional manager for the first time. He delivered his first win that year and has never looked back. I've had the great pleasure of working alongside our winner since 2017, and his growth as a leader and overall personal development has been very enjoyable to witness. One of my favorite things about this man is that he's always playing chess, not checkers, thinking multiple moves ahead to ensure his entire organization is set up for success. When you hear these numbers, you can decide what word you would choose to describe what he's accomplished in such a short amount of time. I just choose to use the word winner. Check this out. In 2021, our State Manager of the Year was the top state manager in the country 9 out of 12 months, and he won all 4 quarters in dominating fashion. He had 3 of 4 quarters over $1 million in premium, and in the 4th quarter, he nearly hit $2 million milestone with an incredible $1.9 million in new business. This gentleman is an innovator and has done tremendous amount of work on behalf of his Golden Gator team to provide them with even more places to go and people to see than they had before he took over. He's always thinking about what he can shake up and do differently to achieve bigger and better results. When the dust settled in 2021, he turned in a stupendous $5,288,530 on his way to back-to-back victories as the top state manager in the WMD. Please help me welcome to the stage, alongside his fiancée, Michaela, your 2021 State Manager of the Year, Mr. Michael Hogan.
PCH driving, I needed some inspiring. Peace and quiet, I'm running from the sirens. They ain't been around, but they know about where I've been. Had to put the time in to let them know it's time. Plug, you don't need it when you plugged in. They know it's us, we don't need no introduction. It's just us, we don't need no one for nothing. But it's always something. Skipping town, cause I really can't be around it. Sometimes the only way to go is right around it. Has that say I didn't like the way it sounded, so I left it where I found it. Yeah. Why stop now? Why stop now? No, not my style, not my style. Yeah. Drop top down, that's my style. Why stop now, baby? Why stop?
Woo! I'll tell you what. This is probably, and I know I'm a little bit biased because you had some of the team up here accept awards, but I've been moved tonight. I'm sitting back there getting emotional in ways I didn't think I could get emotional. The stories are outstanding. I'm honored to be on the stage with everyone before me. Look, it's been so much fun seeing everyone again. It's been so much fun talking with many of you, and I want to start by saying thank you. I've had a number of people come up and congratulate me, congratulate our team for the success we've had, and I appreciate it. I also want to apologize, because if anyone was at the casino with me at all, you definitely lost. So I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I told Linda, actually, it's funny, I said if we could use those gift cards at the casino, most of us in this room would probably need some gas money to get back to the airport tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I want to recognize some special guests, first and foremost with me on this trip. First, the guest and the person who truly is, the most important and the biggest reason I'm here tonight, standing on this stage. Ironically enough, it's not the person who produced the most premium, though we love that person. It's not the person who built the biggest team, which we also love that person. But it's the person who keeps me sane. It's the person who's my biggest cheerleader. And just maybe like many of you, it's the person who, when I was going through some self-doubt, some inner decisions, in a rough time over the last 18 to 24 months, reminded me who I am and what I'm capable of. I think there's many ways to be successful in this business, but a shortcut, without a doubt, as you can see, based upon everyone on this stage, is to have the person who believes in you the most be the one you spend the most time with. And so I'd like to thank my fiance, Michaela, for being that and so much more to me. Thank you, Mick. And if you know me, by the way, fiance has a good ring to it, doesn't it? Next, I want to thank an individual who many of you don't know. People sometimes ask, how the heck do you do what you do in Florida? I've heard it. And one of the most important things I would say that I've personally done is I've surrounded myself with high achievers, people who are excellent. And in just a short time, this individual has helped the men and women in our organization and our company gain access to over 60,000 lives through the various accounts that he's helped us open. That's 60,000 additional families we can protect and a huge opportunity for the people in our organization to earn a living. This person has become more than just a partner in business, but a true friend. I'd like to introduce you all, I know he's in the back, but I'd like to introduce you all to Mr. Fred Angelo and his wife Angela. Fred, please stand up and accept this round of applause, please. Thank you, Fred. Everyone on my team should be yelling, "You love Fred," just saying. Not on my team. You know what? I'm going to be honest, everyone. This has been a hard week for me to figure out the words to describe how to actually acknowledge this team. People tell me speak from the heart. I think there's parts of it that's true. I think some of it's cliche. I think it's terrible advice because for me, the heart can get you in trouble, right? But I can't think of a better word to describe this team than heart. The heart it took not just to be here, but to persevere, to achieve, and to accomplish what you each have accomplished this last year. You can't describe it. I'm not sure if it's love, if it's pride, if it's excitement, what the feeling is, but I'm just so damn proud to be your guys' coach. Thank you. I want to talk about Tucker for a second. I have had an interesting, I don't want to call it a reputation, but we can call it that, a reputation of partnering with people around the organization to try to grow together. And when I first saw Tucker on the cruise, actually my first real introduction to him was he spilled a drink all over myself and Michaela after the awards, which he remembers and we still joke about. But I saw an individual who was more ambitious than maybe even me, which I thought was probably pretty hard to come by, who had the talent, the skill, who had the energy and the enthusiasm to be great. And I just knew that's the type of person I want to work with. And I want to say not only do I have the pleasure to work with someone so outstanding as Tucker, but I have the pleasure to really be good friends, become great friends with both Tucker and his girlfriend Brianna. So thank you both. I want to also recognize, because there's many I could, JoJo, our newest district manager in South Florida. So give him a round of applause for that. When I moved in end of 2015, really beginning of 2016 to South Florida, there's a few individuals in this room that were part of that organization. The most monumental, maybe the most impactful from the beginning has been this individual. You don't usually see a 22-year-old guy from Ohio who hasn't experienced too much from a cultural perspective become great friends with, I'll give you 40-something JoJo, Indian man from South Florida. But what I will tell you is the way that he demonstrates his love for family, it's something I aspire to. So I want to thank you, JoJo, for being a part of this organization. Thank you. Now look, I could spend all night, and Linda told me please don't, because I had a list of recognizing so many people in this audience tonight that are part of the Gators organization. For the sake of time, I won't, but I hope you know I love you. And I say it every time I can, not because it's what's important or what you're supposed to say, but because it's true. And you've heard it all night tonight. This is a team award. While I may be the one accepting this, we can't be fooled. This is about each of you in the crowd. And I want you guys to give yourselves one last final round of applause for 2021. Please do that. Thank you. Now, what's been interesting for me, now we can talk a little bit here. These last number of years, things have changed. You know, when I first started in this organization, fresh out of college, 22 years old, the questions that I would get or the conversations I would have with my peers were a little bit different than they are now. You know, the questions I would get then at FLTs or at sales celebrations are more along the lines of, where's the bar at? Or, wow, how late did you stay up last night? I would get those questions. You know, truthfully, now it's turned into things like, what's the secret in Florida? Why are you guys crushing it each year? And I want to actually try to answer the questions. You know, for me, it's not a secret, but it is a few things that I think you have to make a priority. Number one, it's risk. You know, a question I ask myself, and you should ask yourself, is what are you willing to risk to get to where you want to go with your career? As I just mentioned, I moved out of my parents' basement after college at 22 years old, a couple $1,000s to my name, to Florida to try to run a sales team. It would be cool of me to say that I wasn't scared, I wasn't nervous, I didn't have self-doubt, but I did. You know, for the first time, I was going to be in charge of the livelihoods, which outside of family is probably the most important thing you can be in charge of for a number of people, and it was scary. But the reality is, if you don't risk what you currently have, what you're comfortable with, you're not going to achieve what you want to really achieve. And I truly believe that. Second, a sense of urgency. If I had any message for everyone here tonight, it's to stop waiting. If anyone could tell you anything, Scotty probably would agree with this, Todd would definitely agree with this. I've never waited for anything in my career in PMA. You know, I took my first broker appointment a month into my career. I knew what the individual looked like because I had looked him up on LinkedIn. This was actually a pretty large broker in the state of Ohio. I went to the office to stop by and try to get an appointment, right? 2 minutes on the clock. I saw him walking out of the office to get into his Range Rover, which I'm like, holy crap, I was in a 2000 Honda Accord. I parked far away from the office, needless to say. You know, I approached him, I said hi to him, I introduced myself. I think he respected the tenacity there and gave me the appointment. I failed miserably. But what I gained was more important, which was experience. Yes, I've taken meetings before I was ready. I've attended events, I've involved myself in community before I knew the right people in the right circles. I was really bad at a lot of things before I became good, but what I didn't do was wait to try. I didn't wait for someone to show me how to do it. And then finally, relationships. We can see it based upon this room tonight. This is a relationship business, from sales to leadership to account development. This business is 100% predicated on the relationships that you can form and the relationships that you keep around you. And that's why I want to close tonight with saying that the company we keep in this room, the leaders we have here in this room, I couldn't be more excited about where we're heading. And I know I've said this multiple years before, but it means more this year than ever before. This is only just the beginning. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Why stop now? PCH driving, I needed some inspired.